Hello everybody and welcome to another episode of South by Southeast. Today we are in a very special location and we are with Saul and Cecy of Cecy's Molino. So thank you guys for being here.
Hey, how you doing?
It's wonderful to meet you. It's
Same
great
here.
to put people to the actual business. I know that my family for a very long time has used your masa
Right on.
in making tamales for Christmas.
Right on. Yeah, Christmas is our busiest season, as
So
I'm sure you've probably seen.
Yes, they've stood outside in line and waited. But tell me the history of Cecy's, because I know that you guys have been here for a very long time, and I want everybody to know what special or how special this business is to you and your family.
Right on.
Okay.
Let's have a mom start off.
Okay. Mi esposo y yo venimos de Guadalajara.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
So, all right. So my parents, they're from Guadalajara, Jalisco, Mexico.
Okay. Cuando yo venía, mi esposo era trabajador del US Steel.
Mm-hmm.
So my dad, sorry, my dad used to work for U.S. Steel. He was a mill worker.
Okay.
He actually was also a crane. He was
Operator?
a mechanic too.
Oh, okay.
Crane operator, and then he became a mechanic as well.
Okay.
Entonces, nunca, él era mecánico industrial, nunca pensamos que iba a estar tan difícil la situación cuando yo vine la primera vez. Él ya había vivido aquí por 30 o 40 años.
Okay. So yeah, so they met. He was 48, she was 28 in Mexico. She didn't mention that, but it was actually at his.
Just aged your mama.
Well, no, I mean, also I was trying to show how fly my dad was. But anyway, and fly my mom was too. I mean, you should see some of the pictures, like 70s disco queen and stuff.
We'll try to get to that later.
Yeah, well, right on. No, but they met in Mexico actually at my dad's daughter's wedding.
Oh, okay.
She was the kind of like the wedding planner.
Oh,
because
okay.
like she was picking pretty much like the patterns and stuff for the wedding party, all that stuff.
Okay.
And my dad kept hearing about Cecy, and they met, and apparently they clicked, and here we are now, whatever, like 40 years later. but so what she was saying is they met. My dad worked at steel mills. He had a good job, as many people did here. I mean, like that was a job that you could support a family on.
Right.
All that stuff. You got a pension, all that stuff. So they moved here with the idea that like, all right, he's good, she'll be good, she'll take care of the kids, and then when they get old enough, she'll get another job, because she used to work as a nurse in Mexico. They get here and he loses his job when I was about 6, so about 5-6 years. Well, because she was actually pregnant when she crossed 2. That's
Okay.
Cuando cerraron las fundiciones, cuando regresamos empezaron a cerrar las fundiciones, entonces pues que pensamos, tenemos que hacer algo. Un amigo de mi esposo, compañero del trabajo de la US Steel, estaba vendiendo la tortillería La Norteña, estaba en la comercial, donde está Macías ahorita. Pero como no teníamos dinero ni nada, el edificio estaba muy caro. Entonces empezamos a trabajar en la casa con tamales. Y como empezamos a crecer con los tamales, mi esposo dijo, hay que comprar un molino y hacer nuestra masa.
Okay. Déjame meter, because that's a lot to translate right there. So basically what happened is, and I'm sure you got some of that, but for our non-Spanish speaking.
Yes, for the non-Spanish speaking.
So basically, mill shut down. They're like, we got to do something. We got a young family. We got to support all that stuff. So a friend of his from the mills contacted my father and was like, this building is for sale. La Norteña.
Tortillería La Norteña.
La Norteña was a tortilla factory. No lo podían comprar because they just didn't have the money, so they decided, they kind of, ¿no era el mío que les encontró los primeros clientes? No. All right, so basically, they weren't able to buy the building, because they just weren't in a position to be like, we'll rent the building or, kind of take up the reins of this tortilla place. So what they did do was they started making tamales out of a receta de ustedes, ¿no?
Sí.
My mom's family recipe, making tamales, started pretty much going where there was like, I remember back in the day even going with them to flea markets, church festivals, county, neighborhood festival, all that stuff, selling tamales. And that's really how we started.
Okay.
It was my mom and a group of her friends usually church women, a bunch of, making tamales around the table. And my dad and my dad mostly, but we'd go around and try, basically trying to sell them, and a lot of our original clients came from that original friend though from the mills.
Oh, okay.
That was like, hey, this building is for sale, maybe it might interest you. And like I said, it was more of a kind of a meet halfway kind of thing. I think, well, for us in the sense that we eventually bought a building,
Right.
but we had to start, they had to start off simply because of their means. They didn't have
Right.
access to a lot of things, and all they were able to do was kind of make the tamales.
Right.
Okay.
Entonces rentamos un lugar en Burley 83 y duramos ahí no menos del año. Y compramos, mi esposo vendió su casa en Guadalajara para comprar el primer molino, que es el que estaba ahí.
Yeah.
Y se lo compramos al Milagro,
Okay.
Tortilleria, right?
al Milagro Tortillería, porque estaba muy chiquito ya para ellos.
Yeah. So that grinder right there, that's really our bread and butter. That's what my father bought initially. ¿Cuánto costó?
Como $5,000.
Like 5 G's. He bought it from El Milagro Tortilleria because
Okay.
they were at that point getting too big. That machine was too small for them.
Too small for them.
Yeah.
Right.
Y entonces, pues, empezó la primera Navidad y nunca pensamos que íbamos a vender Santa Masa. Estábamos haciendo tamales, mis amigas y yo, para la noche de Navidad, pero nunca pensamos que la masa pudiera venderse tanto. Nunca.
So when they got the first storefront location, which was on 83rd and Burley, they were there, and they never expected such a high volume response to just selling masa. They were
Right.
there making tamales, and then when they saw how much masa was selling too, they were thinking, their thought immediately was, hey, maybe there's a market in selling masa as well. And that's sort of how we started, really on the streets, or
Right.
in the neighborhood rather. Sorry.
Entonces nos salimos del 83 y nos venimos aquí al 85.
Yeah, so we moved from there. There was some issues. We had to move from there,
Right.
and we ended up here where
Estamos tacos.
where Los Tacos is right now.
Right.
That was our first storefront on Commercial Avenue. That was back in like 89, 90, and we were only there for un año,
Un poquito más.
2 años,
Dos unidades.
or like about 2-3 years we were there.
Okay.
And then they eventually were able to buy this place.
Porque
and
aquí era
that's- we
la
did-
tortillería en Monterrey.
Yeah, here
Oh,
it used to
okay.
be Monterrey Tortillas. There actually used to be a tortilla machine where that black wood is right there, where
Yeah.
you see the flags. All the way up here used to be tortillas, a tortilla machine. We ended up taking that just because the machine was getting old and whatever. But it started off as a tortilla place, and then we made renovations to it to make it to a masa place.
Empezamos a crecer y el señor Castañeda de Blue Island, que también tenía tortillas, nos vendió su maquinaria porque él quería cerrar. Su esposa tuvo un accidente. Entonces tenemos nosotros maquinaria de Castañeda, de Milagro y de la tortillería Monterrey. Así fue como empezamos a construir este lugar.
Yeah, so back then there was a lot of there was a big market back in those, because I do remember too, like early, we would have these orders of like several hundred pounds and stuff like that,
Yeah.
because there was a lot of tortilla businesses back then.
Right.
Now, of course, things have changed, we've adapted, but that was essentially how we started.
Right.
Y así empezó a crecer. Y creció junto con mis hijos, porque estaban mis hijos chiquitos, 6
Yeah,
años,
and
7 años.
I mean, honestly, this is probably my first job, since I was about 6, making, well, not making tamales, but like fixing the hoja, peeling the
Yeah, doing the
tamarindo.
process.
Yeah, exactly. Like
Yeah.
doing all the grunt work, but learning at the same time, how to make tamales. And to be honest, when I look at it, it's like, it is a very laborious effort, but it's also, but I understand too, it makes me appreciate the work that goes into it.
Right.
You know what I mean? Because it is very much a very involved kind of thing to make tamales. It's a very, it's a heritage-driven and deep-rooted family kind of thing. I don't
Right.
know. I can't remember.
No,
if I'm
yeah,
talking about-
I
Una
understand
cosa que
that.
no quiero que se me olvide, nosotros no sabíamos cocer maíz. Mi esposo era mecánico y yo era enfermera.
Well, yeah, that's one thing we had to make. We didn't really, the maize part, a lot of that we had to learn.
Yeah.
Just because it was new, you know what I mean?
Right.
And that's, that's really how we keep learning, we keep trying to grow with a neighborhood that is growing as well.
El esposo de la señora del jacalito y un amigo de él nos enseñaron a cocer el maíz. Porque no sabíamos hacer maíz.
So, all right, so
Okay.
you could even say that it was even like a community effort getting the business going. Because even other people, like at that time, people were very much into like helping one another and trying to
Right.
hey.
Yeah, it was a very community-driven effort. Yeah.
So, like they pretty much expressed, hey, this is very new to us. And a lot of people who knew, how to make maize or, how to cook it to be appropriate for masa and all that stuff really helped out back then. You know what I mean? They really, and they owe a lot to those people, basically like a neighborhood type effort in the sense
Right.
of, because the way we look at this too, and even over the years, I noticed it's like, we win whenever the neighborhood wins.
Of course, yeah.
You know what I mean? Like whenever the neighborhood is doing well, we're all gonna do well.
Right.
So that's sort of always been our mentality. You know what I mean? Like, hey, so we hire people from the neighborhood. We try to be a very community centric kind of business.
Right.
And so there's that.
Well, tell me the process, because I know we went through the building a little bit earlier, but tell me the process for our viewers. What exactly happens in order for you guys to be able to make the masa for the tortillas and for the tamales?
All right, so I'll take this. so basically, all right, so we get our corn. It's actually from a family farm, the Innigenberg family in Lansing, Illinois. You know them? They're actually pretty well known too. But yeah, it's a generational family farm. So that's who's our corn supplier. So we get those that are right there, in those 50-pound bags.
Okay.
We then cook the corn, maize, depending on how much weight it depends. I would say it's roughly about half an hour for every 50 pounds.
Okay.
Roughly. You cook it so it gets to a point where it's soft and manageable. You let it cool at least minimum 12 hours. Then we drain that corn. We load it onto the feeder on top of that grinder right there, and we grind it. It's a stone grinder. We could, if you guys want to see it at some point, we'll show you that. It's a stone grinder, and it comes out as masa, cornmeal, at the end.
Okay.
From there, you have to mix it. You have to mix it with a lard, depending on your family recipe.
Right.
But we use both vegetable oil and lard for the old school recipe. We do special orders as well. People want like a vegan or vegetarian type option.
Cool.
So you mix it, and then from there you spread it on the husk. The husk as well needs to go through its own process.
Oh, wow.
You need to at least soak them. We soak them for a few hours.
Yeah.
So they're manageable. You want it to be. You don't want it to be all hard and
right.
Yeah. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
So once the husk is where it's supposed to be, you put the masa on there, you spread it, and then you put in the meat, the cheese, the fillings, exactly. Those take you steam cook them, it's about, I would say, a half an hour per dozen.
Okay.
So, because we cook high volume as far as the dozens go. So typically somebody has to get up to put the stove on, and then I come back 2 hours later to take them out. But that's basically it. So essentially, it takes from corn to tamale. It probably takes about a day, but filling in all those hours.
Right.
With actual, production of making the tamale.
Right.
And then then you're left with a delicious tamale.
Delicious tamale.
That everybody loves in the fall apparently.
Only in the fall.
Champurrado, yeah.
Atole champurrado.
But tell me how everything has changed, because I know that you guys have been here for a while. How has the neighborhood and your needs changed in the business?
Well, the neighborhood has changed, just quite a bit. Like, I remember businesses that were on this street that no longer exist anymore.
Yeah. So, you
if I
guys
make
are
it
like in the center of commercial. Like, it used to be a completely different boulevard than what it is now.
Right.
And we were talking about it earlier with the book.
Right.
And just seeing how many people are in this street alone. Like, it's obviously not that anymore, but what
Right.
have you guys noticed as your business has been here?
Well, I've noticed that in my family, anxiety levels go up and down. Now, and I mean that lovingly.
Yeah.
In that we have seen pretty much like the worst that this neighborhood has gone through, right?
Right.
And we've seen slowly over the years how the neighborhood's kind of coming back. And I've noticed too, even just among the people in this community, there is a very much resilient kind of like fight back to get to our sort of old glory kind of days. And honestly, I mean, I don't even want to say old glory because I'm the kind of person that believes that, like, you know, just because you're a certain age or this doesn't mean your best days are behind you.
Right, yeah.
I feel like, especially having seen, I mean, for me, the fact that we have a weed store on the corner is an improvement, to be honest. You know what I
Completely
mean?
different from 70
Well, no,
years
but you know,
ago.
but even then, because this neighborhood has been, it's a neighborhood in Chicago that is one of the overlooked neighborhoods.
Oh, definitely.
And
Yes.
and crime happens here, and all those things that people, you know, it gives people a bad idea about this neighborhood. It makes people think a lot of times, oh, it's just a bunch of criminals, you know, whatever the saying. It's like, no, there are people here who care about their community, who have worked in the community for years, who try to give back as much as they can. You know, you can't just write us off. You can't
Right.
just write off South Chicago. Just because other people have or industries have doesn't mean that we have.
Right,
to
just
ourselves.
doesn't mean that the neighborhood has.
Exactly.
Right.
And even how we met. We met at a studio.
Yeah, exactly.
And honestly, I was like, man, like when that came out, when that studio popped up, I was like, I was so happy that day. I was like, man, I'm happy they see us on our studio in South Chicago.
Yeah.
So that kind of goes towards also with our stories that like we see the community getting better, and we see that we're part of a generation of people who want to do better and want to make this community better. So that really feeds us a lot. You know, it feeds our spirit. You know,
Right.
like, you know, it makes us want to stay here and want to keep working and want to grow with the community.
Right.
I mean, you know, so that's how we've seen it change. Because, like I said, we've seen this place at its worst to its best and in between. So
Definitely.
you know.
But tell everybody how they can come in and pick up either masa, tamales, tortillas, or the masa for the tortillas.
Right.
What your hours are and how everybody can find you.
All right, so currently we're closed Monday. It's Tuesday through Saturday, 7 a.m. to 1 p.m.
Okay.
Although we've been talking about extending the hours, so we're very open to people calling us and placing orders that might be out of business hours.
Okay.
You know, we'll always work with you, and you can call us at 773-221-0128.
Okay.
That's the business number. We have a Facebook page. It's set up now as a kind of like a friend. You know, you have to send us a friend request kind of page. But it's also Cecy Molino de Masa. And, you know, we're currently cash only, but we'll work with you is if you want to do like Venmo or Cash App kind of thing.
Yeah.
You know, because again, you know, it's a lot of it is just because, you know, adapting to,
Definitely.
you know, the emerging marketplace, stuff
Right.
like that. And what was your last question?
Well, what can everybody get here? Because I know that you guys
They can
do the
get
masa.
bomb tamales. I'll tell you that right
The
now.
masa, the tamales, but what
Oh,
other
right.
flavors do you have?
Masa,
too?
right? So we make a mixed masa that's just ready to make, ready to spread for tamales. We make the natural masa, and we also make strawberry and pineapple,
Oh, okay.
which are also flavors we make for tamales.
Okay.
And I mean, those go great with ice cream and stuff. I've been told.
Oh, okay.
And yeah,
I've never tried that either.
Yeah, they're actually. I used to eat them a lot as a kid. I used to love them for breakfast.
Oh, really?
The sweet ones. Yeah, they're bomb. My favorite though, I would say, is the cheese, the peppers.
Cheese.
Yeah.
That's what my husband's
He knows
favorite
what's
is.
up.
Yeah.
He knows what's up. Yeah, because it's a great combination. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And you know, with a little salsa, boom, they're good.
Yes. Cecy, tell us about how it feels growing in a community with them and, you know, people coming back to you year after year. How does it feel for you to see all of the familiar faces and make everybody happy with your masa?
Sí, es eso, yo creo.
Yo me siento, desde que empecé, la verdad, me siento todavía confundida. Me disfruto mucho levantarme, tomarme un café con mis trabajadoras y ver la misma gente que viene. Los mismos días, a veces los fines de semana, los sábados o domingos por tamales, pero es la misma gente. Las conocí algunas, las conocí solteras, ahora ya tienen hijos, tienen nietos, como yo, y algunas ya estamos viejas. Pero algunas ya muchas se murieron y yo me siento todavía, estoy aquí, me siento más ya de aquí que de Guadalajara. A veces siento en dónde estoy en México, estoy en Guadalajara, estoy en Chicago, porque como que se fusionaron en mi mente por las caras tan conocidas y el diario convivir. Ya me siento como que es lo mismo para mí. Guadalajara y aquí, porque Guadalajara eran los vecinos de los años y aquí los vecinos y los amigos de años, de la escuela de ellos, de la escuela de mi hija grande. Quería enseñárselas porque ella llegó mucho con mis nietos.
¿Mari?
Mari, sí. ¿Dónde están los niños?
Aquí está Mari, aquí. Ahí está Cristal. Y ahí está Natalie. That's my mom's oldest daughter, Mary.
Oh, okay.
Who also worked here for many years.
Y
And
ahora
this is her daughter Crystal and her daughter Natalie.
Oh,
ahora
wow.
ya tienen 15 y 16 años y ya trabajan aquí en temporadas, en Navidad. Y Miguelito también, Miguelito es su hermano. Entonces ya son mis nietos. Entonces yo siento como que ya le dije familia.
All right, well, all right, I'll try to do justice to what she just said. So what she said at the beginning was, she felt a little kind of confused when she first got here simply because it's a new place,
Right,
right?
exactly.
She's from Guadalajara. But over the years, and especially at the beginning of the business, she felt a sort of familiarity because there was also many people from in her same kind of situation.
Right.
A lot of newcomers to the city, all that stuff. How she feels over the years is that it gives her a lot of joy, happiness to see a lot of the same customers, because she's been able to see them grow over the years.
Yeah.
She remembers them when they were young and single and they didn't have kids, and now they have kids, and she sees their kids coming in.
Their own little families. Yeah.
Exactly, and they all, and they have their ritual, or they have their, things they do, their family things they do. So it gives her a lot of joy. She just also never really thought that would happen. You know what I mean? Just simply because it wasn't like she came here with the idea, like,
with the intention of knowing that this was going to be such a big thing.
Yeah, exactly. It was more like out of necessity, and then adapting, and it's become something that's grown also with the neighborhood, and that's also something that she's very happy about, seeing, our customers grow and us grow with them,
right?
Kind of thing,
Right.
And like I said, that's really what I love about the space, is that there is that family element to it, it's, a lot of people know it's from Christmas time, and that it gives me a certain happiness to be like, yeah, all right,
We'll be back next Christmas.
Yeah, exactly. Well, and we were able to be part of something that made their Christmas,
their
happy.
family traditions.
Exactly.
Yeah.
We're grateful to be part of that.
Well, I can definitely tell you that you are part of my family's traditions because you guys provide the masa for our tamales. So thank you very much. But I do want to say thank you guys for being here.
Well, thank you. Thanks.
And let our viewers know again how they can reach the store to place an order, to get tamales, to get masa.
Sure.
How can they do that?
All right, so it's Cecy's Molino de Masa. Our address is 8546 South Commercial Avenue.
Okay.
Our phone number is 773-221-0128. You can find us also on Facebook. Just look up Cecy's Molino de Masa. Should I spell that out?
No, you don't.
No,
have
okay.
to.
I'm sure you'll probably have a picture.
Yeah.
And that's really, that's how you can reach us. We're, like I said, we're very flexible and willing to work with, if you want to place an order and it's you want it after business hours, we're very willing to work with you. All that stuff. We're very accommodating. We try to be for our customers because we really appreciate our customers and we want them to keep coming back.
Yeah, definitely. Well, thank you guys again. I do want to read off our patrons. I have quite a few, so if you bear with me. Our patrons are Hagwish Nutrition, Willie G, Stevie's Meat Cheese, Dog Apparel Company, Poco Picoso, OMG Pastries 31, V-Bly Photo, Crystal Visions, Matthew Rise, Ice Cream Time, Buzz and Barbecue, Stella Garcia, Vidia Ocotlan, Keepsakes by K, The Taco Dive, South Ave, Serving Sweet Treats, Jen Guzman, Memos Jr., Flip Smokehouse, Tommy Talks, Voyager 783, Cindy Lou's Creations, Phantom Merch, Midwest Forge Fast Pitch, UTTC, and Tochila Diosa. So thank you, Saul and Cecy, for being here again.
Thank you.
It was a great time, and I look forward to eating more tamales.
Okay,
Yeah.